What are the causes and reasons of the break between the Roman Catholic Church, or the Western Church, and the Greek Orthodox, or the Eastern Orthodox in 1054 AD? These are the common questions asked by Christians, especially Roman Catholics, regarding the separation of the Greek Orthodox from the Roman Catholics. Some did not know that these two churches were once a single united church for almost a millennium, until their break in 1054. In this episode, we will discuss the reasons that led to the division of these two mighty Christian churches. The break between the Roman Catholic and Eastern Orthodox churches, known as the Great Schism of 1054 or the Eastern Schism, was caused by a complex interplay of theological disputes, political rivalries, and cultural and linguistic differences that had developed over centuries. But this division had been growing for centuries. Let us now discuss the main reasons and other factors that led to this division. First is the papal authority. The most significant point of contention was the claim by the Pope, Bishop of Rome, to universal jurisdiction and supreme authority over the entire Christian Church. The Eastern Patriarchs, particularly the Patriarch of Constantinople, maintained that the Pope held only a primacy of honor as the first among equals, or the primus inter pares, among the five ancient patriarchates, Rome, Constantinople, Antioch, Alexandria, and Jerusalem, but did not have the authority to govern the other churches. In other words, Rome claimed universal authority of the Pope, while Eastern churches rejected this, favoring a conciliar model led by the Patriarch of Constantinople as first among equals. The second is the Filioque clause. A major theological dispute centered on the Western Church's unilateral addition of the Latin phrase Filioque, or the clause, and the Son to the Nicene Creed. The original creed stated that the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father. The Eastern Orthodox viewed the addition as an unauthorized alteration of a foundational statement of faith and a potential theological error that affected the doctrine of the Trinity. Third is the political and cultural rivalries between the East and the West. The division of the Roman Empire into the Latin-speaking West and the Greek-speaking East created two distinct political and cultural spheres that grew apart over time. The crowning of Charlemagne as Holy Roman Emperor in 800 by Pope Leo III was seen as a challenge to the Byzantine Emperor's authority of the East. Furthermore, the final break was exacerbated by events such as the sacking of Constantinople by Western Crusaders during the Fourth Crusade in 1204, which caused irreparable animosity. There are other factors that contribute to the split of these churches. These involve differences in worship and liturgy practices, the rules on clerical celibacy, and language barrier. One of the most notable differences in liturgy and worship is the use of Eucharistic bread in the Holy Mass. The Western Church, or the Roman Catholic Church, used unleavened bread, or a kind of bread used at the Last Supper for the Eucharistic celebration or the Holy Mass. The Eastern Orthodox Church viewed this practice as a Judaizing innovation or a practice that follows the Jewish traditions. The Eastern Orthodox Church insisted on using leavened bread, seeing it as a more appropriate symbol of the risen Christ. Next is the rule on clerical celibacy. For Catholic clergy, celibacy is the renunciation of marriage and the choice to remain unmarried for the sake of dedicating oneself fully to God and the Church. In the West, all clergy were required to be celibate. The Eastern Church, on the other hand, allowed married men to be ordained as priests and deacons. However, for Eastern Church, celibacy is required for bishops and monastic leaders. Another is the iconoclasm. It is a dispute in the 8th and 9th centuries between these two churches over the use and veneration of religious images or icons. Iconoclasm is the destruction of religious icons or images for religious or political reasons. The Eastern Church, through the emperors, banned and rejected the use of icons and images in churches. The Western Church, however, supports their use in churches and their veneration. Another factor that leads to division is the language barrier. The linguistic divide between Latin and Greek hindered effective communication and led to mutual misunderstandings and suspicion between the two sides. This barrier hindered precise doctrinal discussions, contributed to misunderstandings, and allowed theological and liturgical differences to become entrenched over time. The schism was formalized in 1054 when papal legates and the Patriarch of Constantinople, Michael Cerularius, mutually excommunicated each other. It is an act that was a culmination of the long-standing estrangement.